Welcome to the Customer Protection Training 2025 for Salim Exchange. In today's session, we will explore how every one of us plays a role in protecting our customers and ensuring compliance with the consumer protection regulation and standards issued by the Central Bank of the UAE. This training is more than a regulatory requirement. It is about building trust, ensuring fairness, and securing our company's long-term reputation. As you watch this module, think about your daily interactions with customers. Every explanation you give, every receipt you issue, and every complaint you handle reflects not only on you but on Salim Exchange as a whole. Protecting customers is protecting our future. Why does customer protection matter? The central bank highlights three important objectives. First, protecting customer interests. This means customers must always feel confident that they are treated fairly, with full transparency and honesty. For example, if a customer is uncertain about fees, you must explain them clearly before processing the transaction. Second, ensuring financial stability. A transparent and fair financial system builds resilience. When customers trust us, they continue to use our services, and the overall stability of the financial sector improves. Third, building trust and respect. Trust is our most valuable currency. Customers who trust us will return, recommend our services, and become long-term partners. Every interaction you have is a chance to strengthen this trust. Remember, protection is not a burden, it is a foundation for success. The regulation uses the word consumer. This includes not just paying customers, but also anyone who comes to us seeking information about our services. For example, if someone asks about exchange rates without making a transaction, they are still a consumer and their rights are protected. In daily practice, we use the word customer. But the meaning is the same. Every individual who engages with us deserves clarity, fairness, and respect. Here's what this means for you as staff. You may explain facts, but you must never make decisions for the customer. For instance, you can say, a bank transfer usually takes 1 to 2 business days, while a cash pickup is typically available within minutes. You can also say, you will receive a receipt showing the rate, charges, and reference number, but you cannot say, you should choose the cash pickup, it's better for you, or this transfer is the best option for you. Why? Because that crosses into making choices on the customer's behalf, which is not permitted. Our role is to present facts clearly, so the customer can make their own decision. Key areas of consumer protection. The consumer protection regulation and standards are built on 6 key areas, each forming a shield of protection for our customers. They are, disclosure and transparency, institutional oversight, market conduct, financial inclusion and education, complaint management, and data and asset protection. Each of these areas is equally important. Together, they create a framework that protects customers and ensures that Salim Exchange operates with integrity and trust. Let us look at each of these 6 areas in detail. Disclosure and transparency are about clarity and honesty. As staff, you must always provide clear, timely, and accurate information. The key fact statement must be shown to the customer before they commit to any transaction. This document includes all service fees, timelines, and key terms, giving customers everything they need to make an informed choice. Avoid hidden charges, avoid unclear terms, and never leave out important details. For example, if there is a cancellation fee, you must disclose it upfront. Transparency ensures customers feel respected and confident in their dealings with us. Institutional oversight means that customer protection is not just the responsibility of one department. It begins with leadership and flows down to every employee. At Salim Exchange, our leadership ensures that policies, procedures, and training programs are aligned with the consumer protection regulation. As frontline staff, you must carry out these procedures exactly as designed. There are no shortcuts and no exceptions. For example, if a customer pressures you to process a transaction without full documentation, you must politely but firmly decline. Oversight ensures accountability and builds long-term trust with customers and regulators alike. Market conduct. Market conduct is about fairness and integrity in every transaction. Staff must act with honesty, fairness, and professionalism. Always introduce yourself clearly to customers, and never mislead them about our services. For example, if exchange rates are fluctuating, explain this honestly instead of giving a misleading guarantee. Remember, the customer's interest comes first. Every decision must be guided by fairness and integrity, not by personal convenience or pressure. Financial inclusion ensures that services are accessible to everyone, including people of determination and customers with limited financial knowledge. Our role is to make sure no one is left behind. For example, provide dedicated counters and priority service for people of determination. If a customer does not understand exchange rates, explain them in simple language without technical jargon. Financial education empowers customers and strengthens trust in our services. Complaint management is one of the most critical areas of consumer protection. Every customer has the right to complain if they are unhappy, and every complaint must be taken seriously. The process is simple. Receive the complaint, acknowledge it the same day, issue an SR number to the customer, investigate carefully, resolve fairly, update the customer if delays occur, take their feedback, and close the case properly. For example, if a customer complains about a delay in transfer, acknowledge it, provide them with the SR number, check the system, escalate if necessary, and keep the customer informed. Complaints are not just problems, they are opportunities to improve service and strengthen trust. Data and asset protection means safeguarding both customer information and their funds. Customer data must always remain confidential. Never share information without authorization, and never use data for personal purposes. Funds must be protected from fraud and unauthorized access. For example, if you suspect fraudulent activity, escalate it immediately according to company procedures. Protecting data and assets is not just a regulatory requirement, it is about protecting our customers and our reputation. At the counter. Customer rights begin the moment they ask a question at the counter. Your responsibility starts from that very first interaction. Always answer politely, explain options clearly, and respect the customer's privacy. For example, if a customer asks about money transfer options, explain the available services without making a choice for them. Compliance with customer protection standards is not only a regulatory requirement, it is also a competitive advantage. By being fair, respectful, and transparent, we build stronger relationships, customer trust, and long-term loyalty. Prior to processing any transaction, 3 essential steps must be completed. First, present and explain the Key Fact Statement, KFS. This document outlines all applicable fees, timelines, and key terms in clear and simple language, enabling the customer to make an informed decision. Second, ensure that the exchange rate board is updated and clearly visible to customers. Customers must have transparent access to the prevailing exchange rates before authorizing a transaction. Third, confirm that the company's full legal and trade name is prominently displayed. This reassures customers that they are dealing with a licensed and regulated entity. In addition, staff must proactively disclose all relevant details, including exchange rates, service fees, transfer timelines, cancellation policies, and any potential third-party charges. For instance, if a correspondent or intermediary bank may levy an additional fee, this must be communicated in advance. Comprehensive and transparent communication before initiating a transaction is essential. It prevents misunderstandings, reduces disputes, and reinforces both regulatory compliance and customer trust. The receipt, a legal document. A receipt is not just a piece of paper. It is a legal document and proof of compliance. Every receipt must include the correct transaction details and must be signed by the customer on the company's copy. Always give the customer their copy without exception. For example, if a customer says, "I don't need the receipt," you must still provide it. This protects both the customer and the company in case of disputes. Treat every receipt as a legal obligation. Advertising must always be truthful and clear. Promotional claims like money in minutes must include disclaimers that times may vary. Special exchange rates must show the validity period and conditions. For example, if a promotional rate applies only above a certain amount, it must be clearly mentioned. Advertisements must also warn customers that rates may change due to market conditions. Misleading or unclear advertisements can damage customer trust and lead to regulatory penalties. Complaint handling procedures. Let's walk through the complaint handling process step by step. First, receive the complaint. Second, acknowledge it the same day with the SR number so the customer feels heard. Third, investigate carefully by checking systems and records. Fourth, resolve the issue fairly and explain the outcome to the customer. Fifth, take feedback to see if the customer is satisfied. Finally, close the case and record the resolution. This structured approach ensures fairness and builds confidence. For example, even if a complaint cannot be resolved in 24 hours, providing timely updates reassures the customer that we are working on it. Scenarios: unexpected fee. Scenario 1, an upset customer says, "I wasn't told about this fee." The correct response is to show the key fact statement and explain the fee breakdown politely. For example, you could say, "Here is the key fact statement that clearly lists the applicable service fee. This information is always provided before a transaction, and I apologize if it was not clear earlier." This approach shows transparency and builds trust, even when the customer is frustrated. Scenarios: faster service. Scenario 2, a customer asks, "Which transfer should I choose?" The correct response is to explain the options without deciding for the customer. For example, you could say, "A bank transfer usually takes 1 to 2 business days, while a cash pickup is available within minutes. There may be a rate difference between the two options. You may decide which option works best for you." This ensures the customer makes an informed choice, and you stay compliant. Scenarios: service delay. Scenario 3, a customer is worried because their money has not arrived. The correct response is to apologize and check the system. For example, you could say, "I apologize for the delay. Some transfers take longer due to third-party processing. I will check the system and escalate this if needed." This shows empathy and assures the customer that their issue is being handled seriously. Scenarios: rate difference. Scenario 4, a customer says, "Why is your rate different from another branch?" The correct response is to explain market changes. For example, you could say, "Exchange rates can vary depending on the time and market fluctuations. Please refer to our official rate board for the current rate." If you'd like, I can also provide these details in writing. This keeps the conversation factual and avoids conflict. Do's and don'ts. To conclude, let's look at some do's and don'ts. Do: smile, listen carefully, explain clearly, and record every complaint. Don't: argue with customers, ignore their concerns, or make promises you cannot keep. For example, never say your transfer will definitely reach in 1 hour, because you cannot guarantee it. Instead, explain the normal timeframe and possible delays. These simple behaviors make a big difference in building trust. Staff training and accountability. Customer protection is only effective when every staff member understands and applies the standards. Training is not a one-time event, it is a continuous responsibility. Every employee must be competent in explaining fees, handling complaints, and protecting customer data. Accountability means that we all share responsibility for following customer protection standards, from frontline staff to management. If you are unsure about a process, always seek clarification from your manager or the consumer protection officer. Well-trained staff protect customers, prevent mistakes, and strengthen trust in Salim Exchange. Continuous monitoring and improvement. Customer protection is not static. It requires ongoing monitoring and improvement. Salim Exchange regularly reviews complaints, audits transactions, and checks staff performance to identify areas for improvement. For example, complaint registers help us analyze trends and take corrective actions. Feedback from customers and regulators allows us to enhance our services and reduce risks. By embracing continuous improvement, we ensure long-term alignment with customer protection standards, stronger customer confidence, and meeting the expectations of the central bank. Recap and key takeaways. Let's recap what we have learned. The 6 key areas of consumer protection form the shield of trust: disclosure and transparency, institutional oversight, market conduct, financial inclusion and education, complaint management, and data and asset protection. Always present the key fact statement. Handle complaints quickly and fairly. Protect data and funds. And always remember that transparency builds trust, which in turn strengthens Salim Exchange's reputation. Congratulations on completing the customer protection training. By following these principles, we ensure fairness, transparency, and trust in every transaction. Protecting our customers also means protecting the reputation and future of Salim Exchange. Together, let us keep serving with honesty, build customer confidence, and make every experience a positive one. Thank you, and let's move forward together with pride and commitment.